What was that?
An invitation.
So he wants a showdown already? Fine by me. Saves us the trouble of tracking him down. Brace yourself, Mimic. We're coming for you.
Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama. Welcome to our channel, Paws On Animation, and our Paws On Comic segment.
Yay! And today we're covering the Sonic the Hedgehog miniseries, Tangle and Whisper.
Yes, and this is a short spin-off story that comes from the main IDW Sonic story, focusing on two new characters introduced during the first few issues of the series and taking place right before the Metal Virus arc. Now, we didn't really know what to expect since this was focused on entirely new characters, but we ended up really being pleasantly surprised, and Rascal ended up loving these characters as well. But
before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and notifications of future podcasts and Little Pause videos.
Yes, and thank you for joining us today. If you're new to our channel, welcome. Thank you for listening and sharing our videos. We appreciate you so much.
Yes. So, we actually had started reading the IDW Sonic comics probably actually last year, and then continued this year. We just wanted to see what it was because we had gotten an issue by accident and it was in the middle of something, and it was so entertaining that we wanted to know what happened next, but didn't know that was something way off somewhere else, and we had to start from the beginning to see how it led to it.
Now, for those of you not familiar with Sonic the Hedgehog IDW publishing comic, it's still ongoing. It's American, not Japanese people, based on the Sega video game franchise, published by IDW Publishing. It comes out monthly. It began running in April of 2018. It has 85 issues that are main issues, including annuals, 20 special issues, including Tangle and Whisper Recovering Today, Bad Guys, Imposter Syndrome, Scrapnik Island, Fang the Hunter, and 15 miscellaneous one-shots, including the 30th anniversary specials. Written by Ian Flynn, Evan Stanley, Daniel Barnes, Gail Galligan, and Ian Mushler.
And as we said, this one is the first spin-off from this comic series, and they kind of give you an order online. You really have to look it up to see what books and miniseries come in between the storylines, because sometimes the character will show up before or after, and then they tell you what you have to read in case you want to know what happened during those events. And this one is, we weren't sure because we were still pretty new to this series, and these characters were like around the first volume or two, and we weren't sure at the time when they were in the story, because clearly they had to make new characters, because after the cancellation of the Archie Sonic ones, and a lot of people loved those and grew up reading them, they sort of soft rebooted into this other series, and there's a lot of characters them having to replace. Sometimes you can tell they're supposed to be remnants of the old ones, and sometimes they're just brand new ones. These two were just totally brand new characters, and at first really wasn't sure, because sometimes when they make new ones, they end up being not that great, or they're not, like, maybe one note, or sometimes when there's sometimes female characters, you kind of just like, okay, are they gonna take over, the same old thing you see. So when we read this, we expected that, because it's been the norm for lots of comics and games and everything. But when we read it, they actually made the story interesting, thank God.
And that's because it was it debuted in 2019, and that's probably the saving grace. Now, for those of you not familiar, Tangle is a lemur and Whisper is a wolf.
Yes.
And they're actually fan favorite characters.
Yes, very huge ones. And if you see them both here and the regular, a lot of people see them as best friends, and a lot of people ship them. I think it can work really, personally, either way. You can see them as being either. Even though they can't make a lot of stuff canon within the stories due to the issues with Sega, you can see them as either, and they're still likable characters.
Yeah, definitely. So when they originally released the stories, they were released in 4 issues in total, and then we read it as the trade paperback, or the one volume that contains all 4 issues and the stories of the 2019 annual. And as you said, really surprised that I liked it. I didn't expect to like it either. I mean, honestly, I didn't.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be some throwaway thing, but it
within the first story, I like the characters.
Yes.
And They have distinct personalities. Yes, they're opposites, and people like opposites.
Yes.
But they are very likable.
Yes.
And you wish they were in the story more.
Yes, and I hear a lot of people say that they either need their own series or they need to be in the story more. You hear that so much. And then how it starts off, they sort of do like a one-off mini adventure when they have the Babylon Rogues. I can't believe that was their names all these years and I didn't realize it. And they were stealing jewels. I guess they're thieves today, whatever. And they steal one of Tangle's friends, who's literally named Jewel, haha. And she's there to give her back. And Jet says, "Alright, you can have her bag and jewels if we challenge you to a race, and the winner gets everything." And the one was like, "Yeah, wait. What do you mean a race? That's stupid. We don't need her. We didn't even try to get her. Just give her back, stupid." It was actually funny because Mom always pointed out how dumb it is. You gotta fight for something that's already yours. And they actually...
Yes, that is one of those anime tropes that drives me batty. It's like, I want one person just to say, "I don't have to. It's already mine."
Right. And here she's like, "But that's stupid. We ain't even planning on taking her. Just give her back."
Yes.
And then it finally gets started with the main story where Whisper is looking for a former teammate that she had in her old crew called from the Diamond Cutters, and it's an octopus named Mimic. And if go by the name, he can make himself look like anybody else, but he still has some telltale signs that you know it's not the actual character. And one of the funniest things they had in here is that he was pretending to be Sonic, and I guess trying to besmirch his name. And they make it clear this character has taken people out, even though they can't show it. But they have to still make it where it was kid-friendly to read. So they showed him as Sonic and had pictures of him doing really misdeeds and include him littering, taking candy from a baby, and my favorite that he kicked a child over a wall. And it's like, why is that so funny? Oh no, Sonic's a menace now. And it's one of the funniest parts.
And that book is aptly called Imposter. The second story is called Ambush.
Yes. And it becomes this, I guess, I don't want to say buddy comedy. Well, it's got comedy in it, but it does take the story seriously as it goes on. Mm-hmm. And the two of them end up working together, even though Whisper doesn't really want her on there, and you find out why later, to track him down and stop him. And a lot of times they do kind of imply they're going to have to take him out because the guy just doesn't stop. And your thing is going to be something pretty mundane, or it's going to be easy to catch, and the story's going to be something else. But as it goes on, you only see Mimic actually is a threat. You do actually have to pay attention if he transforms, because there were times you're kind of caught off guard thinking it's one character, and then you realize something's off with their dialogue or their design, and pretty much you figure it out at the same time as the main character, like that's not the one you're looking for.
It's like the Pokemon Zora.
Yes, the movie.
And what I do like is as each story progresses, you see Tangle and Whisper becoming closer friends. Mm-hmm. Whisper starts to get more out of her shell, because she is in a shell.
Yeah.
You can tell she doesn't want to trust anyone. She doesn't want to bother anyone. Mm-hmm. She feels she's a burden. Mm-hmm. And you can see her unfolding as each story progresses.
Right.
So then we get to Betrayal.
Yes. And then you actually end up getting the backstory of how and why she was hunting Mimic. And mentioned earlier, she was part of a group called Diamond Cutters. And again, a lot of new characters introduced to make up for all the ones that were erased. Mm-hmm. And this was a former group where they sort of, I guess you could say they did like petty crimes, like they thought they were like Robin Hood and his merry men in a way. And one thing they were supposed to do was actually infiltrate Eggman's base, and they became sort of anti-heroes later. And they thought they were going to shut down whatever he was working on. And then it starts off great, but as they get in, they're surrounded by, look like shadow, I think they said shadow androids if I remember correctly. And they really just all but show you that all the members end up getting killed off by the robots because it looked like it was a trap. And Mimic betrayed them. He was ended up working with Eggman for money, clearly. and he was setting them up so they all get killed off. But Whisper didn't go in, so she ended up being the only one left. And it was a pretty dark story for them without getting graphic.
But it fit because prior to that, as we mentioned, you had the virus art going.
Yeah.
And that virus art got really dark.
Yes.
And it's like, you know what? Let's just input something in here that's a little more lighthearted the first two stories.
Yeah.
But then, like you say, you get to betrayal and you're back to the darkness.
Yes.
But that virus arc, oh my gosh. And this particular story fits the same tone.
Yes, and it's considered one of the best arcs of the IDW series.
And then we get to the last story, Showdown.
Yes, and this one is where they really heighten all of the action and suspense, because he has many opportunities to transform this time. He just flat out has weapons like Whisper. And again, the character has killed off other ones, so without being graphic like most of these other medias like to do, you knew that if she lost, it was gonna be over. And didn't count on the fact that she has someone to help her, and Tangle really does come through for her after she has heard her story, and she does help her. And with this, as you said, they cement that they do have a bond and a friendship, and she proves that she can trust her. And so much so with this story being popular is that there's actually a ongoing fan-made animated series on YouTube called Sonic Rebound, where they're animating the IDW comics into their own animated series. And people have been saying they want to see this stuff animated in the games, and none of these characters appear in games, and they haven't given a TV show. So these collaborative channels have decided to start animating each issue as an episode, and they had a long break. And the most recent one they came out with was episode 7, where they actually took a reference from this comic and put an original scene that was from this story into their main one. Mm-hmm. So it really shows how popular both the characters were and the story were. And this was, again, the beginnings of the comic. Mm-hmm. And we didn't really understand when people were saying these comics were boring, they weren't as fun or interesting or as dark. Kid you not. Or kid you not, I said this wasn't as dark as Archie, because from what we learned, we've never read Archie, but Archie had no limitations and they weren't bound by Sega's mandate, so they did whatever they wanted. They could kill characters, they could age them up, they could have romance, they could do whatever they wanted, and people loved that they got to expand more. And I can completely understand wanting to see that, and you grew up with it. I have no problem with that. But to say that these comics have no merit, whether it's the beginning or the current stuff, I think is really being small-minded with that, and to criticize the writer of this and the main series because you don't like how he or she writes the characters. Like, but you write them differently when you make the fan stuff.
Now, what I do like about Tangle and Whisper, and also about Surge, is that people are always saying, not enough girls, not enough girls. Well, they interjected 3 females that were definitely memorable.
Yes.
Tangle and Whisper, I'm sure they didn't expect them to be as popular as they are.
I think so,
and the same with Surge and Kitsunami. They just took off.
Yes.
So,
yes, and it wasn't forced. They just made good characters.
So we hope to be doing a review of the volume with Surge and Kitsunami soon. Yeah. But this Tangle and Whisper we had to cover because, again,
it was great.
Rascal has been posting. When she first read it, she was posting like crazy on X. every day. We always know when she's got her new favorite, her new crushes, her new obsession. Because she starts posting it all the time.
That's your cue, you know. And then it gets mixed in with the other
But
things.
with this one, I can see why. I really enjoyed it. And the artwork looks good. Yeah. The characters look good. Yeah. The personalities are set. They don't seem like they're just lightly written or caricatures of other characters that are already a part of Sonic.
Right.
And within the 4 short volumes, you got character growth.
Yes.
So it just couldn't have been better.
Yes, absolutely.
So let me tell you some quick trivia that I found online.
Okay,
You may already know, so let me know.
Okay.
Sonic the Hedgehog Tangle and Whisper is the first American Sonic-related comic miniseries to be published. It was the first to be published since Sonic Quest, which was published by Archie Comics in September of 1996.
No, I did not know. I didn't even know Sonic Quest existed.
It also was the first Sonic-related comic miniseries since Archie Comics' Princess Sally, whose main characters do not originate from the Sonic the Hedgehog video game.
Really?
Series.
Okay.
And according to Ian Flynn, the miniseries takes place between Sonic the Hedgehog number 16 and Sonic the Hedgehog number 17 of the main Sonic the Hedgehog comic series.
Okay. And yeah, when you click them volumes, you're going to have to guess from there because they collect several issues and compile them into that. They do the same thing for Tangle and Whisper. They have a bunch of one-shots like after the first story, and that's probably the one thing we didn't like. They threw these in and it broke the pacing really badly to the point like, what are these stories? And some of them weren't even, you know, some of them were fine, but some of them were just like, this is kind of just a waste of time. I'm sorry if you like those, no offense, it just was kind of lame to see this thrown in there. They could have just put them at the end after the story's done. It was something like a relaxer after all the crap that happened within it. And that's really the only criticism he had with it. Other than that, it was very well done. It was very well written. Really, I really love the characters and expect to. And highly recommend you read it, whether you're reading the regular IDW or you just want to read this on its own. It works as a standalone thing as it doesn't cliffhanger into the other series.
Definitely. So if you've read Sonic the Hedgehog Tangle and Whisper special comic, let us know in the comments below. Did you love the characters? Did you find them entertaining? Or did you not like them like some people did? How'd you like the artwork, the writing, the storytelling? And do you wish they were a part of the regular Sonic franchise? So let us know in the comments. And if you haven't read it, we recommend you get it and read it. Come back and tell us what you think.
And if you haven't already, subscribe for updates and videos for your anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us today. Subscribing, sharing my videos, commenting, everything you do. As always, you are special.
Thank you so much for watching Mask Entertainment.
And Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.